Hello. Okay, so this is going to be the first recording of things. Okay, so this is if you missed the very first day of just getting to know you and things like that. So we'll go here and present this. And I know you can't see me anymore, but you should be able to see the whole slideshow. So this is a little bit, disregard the things about cameras on, microphones off, just because you're watching this after it's already happened. Um, so this is the first kind of get to know you activity. What are you most excited for this year? So if you are able to click the link, do that. And if not, you can either copy and paste it, or you should be able to scan the QR code. It'll take you to a form, and then you'll just fill out the form. It just says, what are you most excited for this year? Because I just want to get to know you a little bit better and see what kinds of things you are looking forward to for this school year. So then you can go ahead and pause the video if you need to, go do that, and then come back. Today's objectives: to get to know each other a little bit, to establish some rules, and then there's a name game, but we won't really be able to do that, but we will be doing more get to know you type of games in the future, so don't worry about that. And then we'll just talk about some procedures. Here are our champs for online learning. So anytime that you are in a meeting, you need to have your microphone turned off unless you are called upon to answer a question, or if I say, everybody take turns turning on your mics and saying something. But for the most part, your microphone should always be off. If you need help in a full group meeting, there's an option on a meeting in Microsoft Teams to raise your hand. So you can do it that way. Or you can always ask questions in the chat box. For activity, I just need you to be engaged in what we're doing. For movement, stay at your computer unless I ask you to, like if I say, okay, we're going to take a 5-minute break, so you can go to the bathroom or get a drink or anything like that. If you really need to use the restroom and it's not a break time, you can always ask in the chat box. You can raise your hand. But for the most part, movement is just going to be staying at your computer. And then always be ready to participate. I really try to do a lot of active participation things. So I'll ask questions or ask you to type things in the chat box and things like that. So I'd really appreciate full participation in whatever we're doing. In small groups, mostly the same things, except for conversation, I need you to be willing to talk to group members and share ideas. So you should have your microphone on, or at least be typing things in the chat box. As far as help, you can ask your group members questions, or you can write them down to ask when we come back. And then for activity, the same thing, just be engaged. Movement, the same thing, stay at your computer and work together, and then make sure you're actively participating. Okay, now a little bit about me. I am Miss Jordan. So this is from my college graduation. I graduated from Heidelberg University in Ohio in May. So this is a picture of me with my parents. My dad is Dr. Ramsdell. He teaches the choirs at Heidelberg University. And then my mom, Mrs. Ramsdell, is a pianist. So she does all sorts of things. She teaches private lessons. She accompanies choirs. She's awesome. So that's a little bit about my family and a little bit about my education. I have a degree in music education. I did do an emphasis in voice, but I also play French horn. So got a little bit of stuff going on there. This is about my family. So on the left here, this is my cat, Winnie. He is almost a year old. And then on the right, we have my cat, Pumpkin. He is turning 3, actually in September. So he's almost 3. And then in the middle is me and my husband, Mr. Jordan, on our wedding day. We got married about a year ago. Some things that I like my cats. That is not my cat, but it is orange, so it kind of looks like my cats. I really like Frisbee golf. My husband and I just started playing when we moved here this summer, and it's super fun. I like putt-putt, one of my favorite activities. I obviously like music and singing, and I like dogs. So this year, things are going to work a little bit differently. Obviously, we're not all in the room together, so it's going to be a little different as far as making music as a group. But hopefully, at some point, we'll be able to do that together. Hopefully, we'll be in person this sometime. So you can do this. You can pause the video now if you'd like to write down some answers on your dry erase board. Just what are some ways that you think choir is going to be different, but also some ways that you think it's still going to be fun. Since you're not watching this in person, this is not going to work quite the same, but you can still feel free to write down 2 rules that you think will be important for choir this year. You can email them to me, you can comment them under the video, but I just want people in the classes to be actively engaged in the rule making process. So it's not just me saying, these are the rules you have to follow them. I want this to be things that we decide as a group are important for all of us to be doing. So mutual respect, I'm going to respect you, you're going to respect me, things like that really have to happen in order for our classes to run smoothly. All right, and then this is a name game. Again, if you are commenting or emailing me things about the meeting as you're watching it, this is something that you can still participate in. So basically the way that this game works is that you pick something, it doesn't even actually have to be something that you like, but something school appropriate that starts with the same letter as your name. So if my name is Miss Jordan, I'm going to say my name is Miss Jordan and I like jellyfish. So you can go ahead and send me, if your name is Matt, you can send me, my name is Matt and I like marshmallows, or something else that starts with M. Just a little bit of an easy way to kind of make associations with people's names and help remember those a little bit better. Okay, so some things to think about. What is a procedure? How do procedures work? And in my opinion, procedures are things that you just have to do in order for things to work. So the procedure for getting into the room is you have to turn the doorknob and open the door. That's not a rule. It's not like I'm telling you have to do it. It's just like a thing that you have to do. So like there's no rule about open the door before you come in the room, but you cannot get into the room unless you open the door. So that's kind of how we're going to look at procedures for this year. So some things that you have to do in order for class to work. You have to be in class on time. If you're not here, you're not learning. Obviously, if something comes up and you're watching this video the way that you are, then there's exceptions for those things. But if you're in class, try to be on time so that we can all do the learning process together. Make sure that you are participating and paying attention and following those CHAMPS procedures. Again, class just cannot run the way that it should unless you are following those CHAMPS procedures. So if everybody's talking at the same time, there's absolutely no way that we're going to get any learning done. And that's, if the point of being in class is learning, then that's something we have to do. And then having your microphone on when it's appropriate and having it off when it's not appropriate. Again, just kind of going off of those procedures of like, these are things that we have to do in order for class to run well. And then kind of going off of the microphone thing, feel free to have your camera on or off. But if you're going to have your camera on, make sure that whatever's in the camera is appropriate for school. So don't do anything on camera or show anything on camera that you wouldn't do or show if you were here in class, if that makes sense. If you have any questions about procedures, please email me. I will definitely email you back because procedures are super important. And then this is just a fun thing for when you're in a Teams meeting. There's a way that you can change your background. You should be able to do it. Today we had 6th grade orientation and some people could do it. Some people figured it out, some people didn't. So we're going to take a little bit of time in class to figure it out. But either at the top of your screen where you have a list kind of options, or it'll be at the bottom of the screen, depending on if you're in your browser or in an app. There's like where you raise your hand, and then there's the chat function, and then there should be 3 dots. And so if you select the 3 dots, then somewhere in the list, the drop down, or if it pops up, it'll say either there's apply background effects, or there will be something to blur your background. And so you can choose any of those. All of those are absolutely fine to use in class. So feel free to explore that if you would like to. And that is something that If you're not comfortable with people, with your classmates or with me seeing your house or seeing your room or anything like that, but you still want to have your camera on so that we can all see each other. If you use the background effects, then we won't be able to see anything behind you. It'll just be you. So that's something that you can do during meetings. And then that is the end of our slideshow. So I hope that all of that was easy to follow. Like I said, if you have any questions about anything that I went over in this, please, please, please email me, send me a message. Just let me know what I can do to help kind of make this school year a little bit easier for you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you the next time that I see you. Thank you.